Let's jump into stats versus Elazer. Take the title of the stream. Awesome. Guys, we're in for a big long day of StarCraft 2 today. We have the WardiTV weekly Season 4 Finals Group B today. The Muslim, Petit Drogo, Stefano, and Denver. That's one hell of a fun group if you ask me. That starts in about 3 hours' time. Make sure you stick around for that. Until then, Stats versus Elazer semi-finals. The winner will play versus Zest in the Grand Finals today. Stats, a Grand Finalist last week, and did win the series 3-2 against Patience in the end. Elazer didn't play last week. Let's see what he can do to maybe make himself a participant in the finals. To the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Team Clash is Elazer, and the blue Protoss to the upper right is Stats. Whew. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. If you are enjoying the stream, don't forget to drop us a follow to see when we go live again in the future. And if you're really enjoying the stream, don't forget you can support in multiple ways. One of the best ways to support is to subscribe. And you can subscribe to the channel for a fairly low cost of $5 a month. Sorry, I'm having a battle with my fridge trying to put a drink in, or fit a drink in, that isn't fitting in. There we go. $5 a month gets you replay packs, and all of the games we've casted here today on stream will be sent out to you guys in a replay pack, as well as all of the other replays that we've cast in the last couple of weeks. We are going to be casting. We are going to be sending out the replay pack very soon. I know I've been promising it for about a week now. We could maybe even just do it today, even. So this replay pack with all these games in is going to be going out soon. If you're a subscriber, it's really, I personally think, the best value replay pack you can get, because it's usually 500 plus replays per month that we send out. So I think it's better value than any other replay pack on Twitch TV. Just for being a subscriber, and don't forget, if you're a Twitch Prime user, you can subscribe for free. It doesn't cost you anything, just your Twitch Prime sub usage. And it doesn't auto-renew, so if you've been a Twitch Prime sub before, you think you still are, just give it a check, make sure you still are subbed. Just go a long way to helping out the channel and helping us make more StarCraft 2 content. Alright, well, we set up here into game 1 of this best of 3. Obviously, we introduced the players, we've kind of seen what's going on roughly, and for the most part, it's exactly what you would expect it to be. You know, this is, you know, a Warlock, this is a Stargate and an Oracle, this is, you know, the Zerg play going in towards Linger Speed, Queens. Everything from Elazer and Stats looks, you know, to the T, exactly what you would expect so far in this, PvZ. So really, nothing too crazy so far. And great question from Johnny in the chat. Who are you guys cheering for? I want to hear it in the chat right now. Are you cheering on Stats? Are you cheering on Elazer? Who do you guys think is going to win this series? I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking as we set up into this and we get really underway. Twilight Council coming in on the top right-hand side of the map, and we do see the Robo facility at the same time. Robo just a little bit faster here, get that Prism out before the Temple Archives comes down or so. And we are going to be seeing the +1 melee upgrade from Elazer coming in on the natural expansion. So, +1 melee on the naturals, we are going to see a couple of drones starting to drop. So one drone goes down, a lot of damage on the Oracle though. Elazer with some well-positioned queens able to come in and actually gets himself a lot of damage on this Oracle. It's kind of crazy as we are going to be seeing the Zerglings coming across towards the upper right-hand side to see what else is going on. What's up, Coma Duster, coming in with a 2-month resub, yelling, "Not the bees!" Yes, we got attacked by a bee. Was that in this tournament last week? I think it was, right? I think it was this tournament last week we had the bees attacking. Man, that was as if that was a week ago. This week's been fast. It's been a fast week, guys. It's been a fast week. Lots of StarCraft going on. But yeah, we got attacked by a bee last week. Thank you so much, Comet Duster, for the 2-month resub. We are going to be seeing then in this game the +1 melee. We have generally seen Zerg kind of turn back towards this. The slightly later lair in favor of the +1 melee earlier. So Lingbane Hydra kind of committed to rather than a faster lair and maybe kind of a Roach speed Roach Hydra, or even just kind of faster Hydras into Lurkers maybe. Improvement in the chat is cheering on Stats, as is Mr. Daskalos. A lot of Elazer cheers coming in though. Elazer from Hydron 44, Johnny. from Alekin as well. Duck bumping stats got this. Juvia's cheering on the toss. Lots of actually a very split sort of crowd right now in terms of stats or Elazer. And well, I can't blame you guys. Honestly, I think Elazer, the foreign hope right now. It was cool to see foreigners winning, but Stats a very lovable Korean Protoss player. Always happy, always laughing. Very popular actually, one of the more popular players with the foreign scene. Stats is a very funny guy. I remember I met him at IEM Katowice last year, and he was very funny, and we had a fun little time in the casino. He's a very funny guy. He's learned a bit of English, so you know you can definitely tell him a couple of jokes and stuff. Really awesome player to have around. As you are going to see a few zealots going to warp in here from Stats. Going to be joining up with those couple of Archons, and well, see a few creep teamers continue to go down here. The zealots and Archons are going to turn around, fight against those couple of queens. Starting to get some damage done. And taking some shots as well, as we are going to see Banelings being pushed away. Queens continue to take some hits themselves, and well, eventually the Zerglings are going to get cleaned out for the most part. Stats loads up those Archons and continues to pull back up towards the upper side of the map. Storm currently on the way down here from Stats, being chrono boosted at the moment. The Archons are going to drop down again. We are going to see the Warp Prism going down though. That's huge. Losing the Warp Prism and now an Observer as well. He tries to recall, but that's just wasted energy because, by gosh, he didn't recall anything. It does still use the energy, right? If you recall, but then the units don't come back home. It must do, because I think the energy gets used as soon as you cast it. So that's a bit of a shame. But Stats has lost a lot there. And Elazer's really kicked this off. The first 7 or 8 minutes, he's really had a lot of success, I feel like. As though, you know, killing off those couple of Archons just now. The Prism is absolutely massive for the overall game plan. I think in general, this is a really... this is really one of those amazing starts so far from Elazer that quite often could be the start of maybe a little bit of an upset here in this series. Is it an upset if Elazer beats Stats? I kind of think it is a little bit. Not massively. I think Stats is the favorite player, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Elazer wins the best of 3, you know? Hydras get rid of these rocks here to the right-hand side, so now the attack can start up. Doesn't split army kind of up at all just yet. You know, oftentimes we'll see the army come to the left side as well. Storm is ready to go, and these Banes don't have speed, so obviously going to try and hunt down the High Templar. He gets a couple of Zealots so far instead. Nice that the High Templar didn't use their Storms just yet. He has got them available. He uses them on those Banes, but they still get close enough for the Zealots to actually connect. So I'd say those Storms are not actually that great to begin with. He is actually relying on purely Storms at the moment and a couple of cannons to kind of hold this off. Meanwhile, drop in the main base gets a couple of probes, not too many. Overlord will move now to the natural expansion instead, where there is another cannon to defend. I feel like Stats is really running out of options here. I feel like it's High Templar out of energy. He's morphing them into Archons, which means now you don't have to Elazer be afraid of Storms anymore. Elazer can keep on pushing up. And the Banes are going to look for whatever they can. I mean, actually, just go for the mineral line would work out. The Hydra count's going to run out here towards the end. A few more Lings stream in to try and get something more done. He'll get himself an Immortal on the very tail end of this, and it's always great to be able to shut down every single unit possible, of course. The more units you shut down, the less the Protoss player is able to stack up that mass of, you know, kind of Protoss tech that goes such a long way. And as we are going to see, they're going to shut down too, and we are going to be having these Lings and Hydras coming up in towards the middle of the map and going towards the upper right-hand side to continue being aggressive here. Is it an upset beat if Elazer beats Stats? Lol. Seriously? Yeah, seriously. Elazer's very good lately. What do you want me to say? Like, of course Stats is very good as well, but we're talking about an online tournament. It's not like these guys are playing GSL Grand Finals or something where I think experience and the, you know, preparation almost always goes in Stats' favor. You know, it was just, you know, Elazer beat Stats like a week ago, right? No? Elazer beat Stats the last 2 times they played. In fact, you know what? Elazer is 4-1 against Stats in series. He's won 3 of 4 best of 5s against Stats and a best of 3. So you tell me if it's not stupid, or if it's completely unreasonable to question if it's an upset. Moves running in and starting to get a few probes. Storm's coming down once again. His Banes are going to be rolling forwards too. I really think, though, these Archons are going to be morphing in because the High Templar don't have energy. And these Banes are just going crazy, and Elazer continues to shut this down. It's going to be GG. Elazer takes game number 1 of this series. I was a little bit distracted with chat. I was reading things I shouldn't have been reading. I should have just been a little bit better. You guys can blame me. I'll take the hit. It was not good. To the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player is Elazer from Team Clash. And we do have to the top right, our blue Protoss from Splice is Stats. Game 2 of the best of 3, and obviously Stats the one who maybe needs to change things up. Maybe not losing the Warp Prism so early would be a big benefit. Maybe not losing the... I actually don't know what else went really wrong for him, I guess, you know. I think it was just everything started to go wrong so quickly. You lose the Prism, you give the Zerg a lot of momentum. First Zerg fight's pretty good. The Bane drops were doing decent damage, not a massive amount, but enough. Definitely don't think Elazer is bad, but when you judge an underdog status, what do you judge on? The same thing as every other competitive anything ever, resume in important tournaments or competitions. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, you know, when you put Stats against Elazer online, if Elazer beats Stats, I don't think that's as much of an upset as when you put Stats versus Elazer offline, because offline and online competition is very different. Which is why I had this little bit of a debate of, you know, is this really sort of like a scenario here where it's an upset if Elazer beats Stats? Online, I actually really don't think it does. He has the series history win over Stats. In the last 5 months, he's beaten Stats 4 times out of 5 that they've played. And the one time he has lost against Stats was in a more important offline competition. The times he has beaten Stats is in online events, Alimo League, Space Trade events, you know, online qualifiers, or admittedly one of those is actually an online qualifier for IEM. I think online, it's not as much as an upset. I think it's very definitely a real thing to be able to say, like, you know, yes, if Stats and Elazer set down offline, boom, it's a very different scenario. So yeah, I think it's a worthwhile discussion, conversational piece, opinion. Maybe you don't agree with that. Maybe you think Elazer beating Stats yet again online is still an upset, which is fine. And I think that's definitely, you know, it's an opinionated, it's an opinion, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of upsets are generally very kind of opinion based. A lot of the time people are like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy beat this other guy. And I said to him, like, well, you know, I kind of can. Look at his results, look at his current performance, look at the meta, and what it, you know, which player's strength it plays into. There's a lot to take into perspective other than big offline results, especially when we're not casting a big offline tournament. I think. Fun debate though. We can definitely go back and forth a bit. Fills in a couple of minutes at the start of this game as we see the exact same opening as game number 1, Stargate coming through. Adept tries to shade in towards the main base, doesn't actually really see anything worth shading for. As the second Adept shows up, and that'll just be sitting towards this ramp now, just to kind of defend, deflect, and all the rest of it. Why is it so different live? Because of the pressure? I mean, I think pressure is one of the things, right? But I also think... pressure, importance of tournament kind of depends how much Stats puts into this. You know, you've seen Stats a lot of the time. You know, a lot of players in online events will come out and they'll use, you know, some very standard and generic builds. They won't always kind of put everything into it, right? They won't have full concentration. They won't research their opponent before time. They may even use online events to kind of test out some builds in a best of X series rather than just playing it on the ladder, you know? So, you know, I think nerves comes into it, but I think, you know, the series of a tournament, how much do you want to show? You know, do you want to, you know, how try hard do you really go? Yes, there's money on the line, but it's always been a thing that there's been more upsets. You know, there's always a thing where there's been more upsets online than offline, right? It's why, for example, that this is why I have the opinion that, for example, Elazer, someone just brought up in chat, Elazer beat Stats offline at the Memes and Dreams Invitational. And I'd argue that, yes, he did, but that's a less important tournament, you know, because it's a $2,000 prize pool. I think you can still argue that that is still an sort of like within like the realms of online. It's not like a big offline event with a stage. It's not like a WCS or GSL where there's a lot more pressure and nerves and importance in terms of what's on the line there. Stats doesn't go into that event researching Elazer. He doesn't go into that event with a set of builds like, let's win this, you know? It's a much more fun tournament because the prize pool's a bit smaller. So, yeah, I mean, yes, that's off, officially it's offline, but I don't think it's offline in the same sort of way that playing for tens of thousands of dollars is offline, you know? But yeah, I mean, a lot of players have this thing as well, where it's a really interesting thing, but a lot of players do play so much better online than they do offline. Some people play so much better offline than they do online. You know, I'd say Rogue, for an example. Rogue showed up, he won BlizzCon, and then he played a bunch of events online. He looked like absolute trash here. It's like, does he even practice anymore after he won BlizzCon? Then he shows up at like the next offline event, and he goes and wins that as well. And it's like, well, shit, he is pretty good. It's just these players come in with different kind of attitudes when it's online and stuff. So, yeah, I think it's very interesting, actually, the effect of playing online versus offline and the importance and so on. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It actually is worth talking about, I think, and it's a really cool discussion. Maybe even something you could talk about much more in depth another time. For now, though, we do see this build getting set to go, and so we do have to turn our attention back towards this game in particular. As we are going to be seeing these Zealots and a couple of Archons coming across towards the bottom left-hand side. I mean, there's no Prism here just yet, if I'm not mistaken. It is down to the bottom side, so it's not with this army, which is different, you know? It's not really what you'd usually expect. So it's a little bit of an interesting one from Stats, who's actually more so going for like one big attack, it feels like, than the usual sort of, oh, let's do a little bit of harassment here and there, you know? You can see a few Zealots charging on forwards. You can see an Overlord going down, and again, Lings and Hydras pushing in. We are going to see the Lings from the other side going to get full surround, though, and oh my god, Elazer fully surrounds this army here, and he's going to be able to get this kill. Meanwhile, we see the War Prism in the main base is maybe going to cause a little bit more trouble because Elazer had the majority of his army out in the center. But as soon as the Zealots lift up, this is a cleanup here. This is the shutdown. And Elazer has completely stopped Stats already in these early stages. Thank you so much, by the way, OG Mystic Grumpy Gills. You gifted a sub to Plox. Thank you so much for the sub gift. We appreciate it as we see the Hydras coming through, and they shut down that War Prism, push it away. So you see these Zealots dropping down, going to charge on in. They are going to get surrounded. Queen gets taken down. Hydralisk under some fire as well. And you are just going to be seeing again Lings and Hydras coming in towards the center of the map. I mean, I just think Elazer got so much momentum off of the kill in that initial attack that now, I mean, this third Nexus doesn't survive, right? Especially with Hydras across the map, that's going to be painful. And you're seeing the Zealots just getting taken down instantly, so really nothing here at all. Storm is going to finish. There's only a couple of High Templar at the moment. Zealots actually use their charge behind the wall, and they get caught up a lot there. Oh my god, can he get the High Templar before Storm's ready? He targets one of them. Oh my god, Storm just finished in time. He hits heavily onto the Hydras. Lings have to get in front again, but the Hydra count, I think, is a bit too much, and Elazer is going to push on through. He's going to take down all of these units. The Immortals go down. That's GG. Last week's champion is going to be taken down. Stats falls in the semi-finals, the 2-0 by